No, it's not. Not Mike. You can't top those guys. Master's degree, 30-point preference. It doesn't matter.
Welcome to Pull the Pin Already, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions on the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions.
But we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mike. And that's Wags.
Jerry. Thanks for having me, fellas. Sorry to miss you.
The pressure.
Yeah, right?
The pressure to say hello.
Yeah, we get a kick out of it. So, what's on your mind? And welcome back to the show, first and foremost, there, Jerry. Wags.
Thanks. I appreciate y'all having me again.
All right.
Tonight I have with me my companion. The only thing I took with me out of Fort Irwin, California.
Okay. That's the only thing.
Yep, in the middle of nowhere. So
Nice.
I have this little memento to remember my days in Fort Irwin, California. Remember my time of having to defecate in a plastic bag because you couldn't do it in the desert. Yeah, I don't know how times have changed, but now when you're in training there.
I've never heard anybody doing that stateside.
Yeah, I hope we're not talking about that today, right?
Yeah, no, I know we're a little off topic, but imagine your experience in the desert having to drop a deuce in a plastic bag. Worse than that, imagine being the Joe that has to go around and collect the bags in the back of the truck for processing.
I think worse than that is who's the guy holding your bag?
Processing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to process everything you just said.
I'm just trying to hold the bag. I mean, I can't even keep it steady.
Holy crap. No pun intended. But,
Yep. That's definitely a crap detail to get put on.
yeah, well, Wags, anything
Speaking of
else on your mind?
qualifications, right? Speaking of qualifications, right? Perfect segue.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about there, Wags?
This is kind of a transition into why veterans have challenges getting employment outside of the Army. Their experiences that they may bring up may not directly relate to civilian employment and employability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you find certain industries like to hire veterans and certain ones avoid them?
Well, if you find an industry that does like to hire vets, let me know. I have a resume for them.
I'm not sure you want to do police work anymore.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I have, you always hear before you're getting out, the civilian market loves veterans. Everybody loves veterans, and that's just not been my experience. There may be those companies that do love veterans, but I just wasn't able to find those type of agencies. I probably hold a pessimistic view on this, but I wonder if there isn't still a stigma to hire some veterans, especially with the idea of PTSD and the idea of unreliability in civilians' minds. I don't know that your average civilian industrial job really thinks as highly of military as we would hope that they would. And as a matter of fact, I feel like a lot of the marketing that is done to, quote, intentionally hire veterans is more for public relations and image of the company rather than to actually intentionally recruit and hire veterans.
Yeah, there could be some truth to that. I think two things you're missing. One, you should have went in the Air Force because then you'll get a job in the civilian world right off the bat. Or two, you should have picked an MOS where you can go work for the government doing the same damn thing, making 3 times the money. And we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah.
That's true, and I definitely agree. There are some jobs out there that are so marketable and that you are qualified for from the military that you can go right into those jobs. But generally speaking, I think I speak on behalf of the majority of veterans that struggle to find their place in the community, to find employment, do something that they consider meaningful. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of the majority view.
I would agree with you if you're not located near a military installation. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of government jobs, contracting jobs, on military bases. Not saying that you're automatically going to you'll be recruited for one position or another, but I think that'll better your chances with as a vet, your resume will stand out more for military. You know what I mean? Military type jobs.
It
Yeah.
it might, but now you get me thinking about VA preference on DoD jobs, and I don't know, fellas. I've applied for a lot of DoD jobs, and with the preference that I should be given, um, I've only landed one. I've only landed one job with a master's degree, and it was a GS 5 position. Um, I don't know about VA preference, when it comes to getting a job. I think there's somehow a system out there, and I've heard of such things as direct hire, and I've heard of such things that this vet is able to hypothetically walk directly into a job if they meet the minimum qualifications of the job. I've heard all this shit, but I
Yeah,
haven't
I
experienced
heard that
anything.
too, but I can honestly say those days are over.
Yeah, there
I've
was a
heard,
transition too, wasn't there? There was a
Yeah.
transition with this last war that the people were not. It's not that the qualities of the vet weren't wanted. It was the fact that they knew people were going to be gone. So I remember that transition. I don't know what's happened since then.
Yeah, I could speak on this only from um, personal experience, I guess. Now, if you're applying for a position and you have that preference, there are other preferences that outweigh yours, and it took a lot for me to grasp that. You know what I mean? And the main one is they have this whew, abundant amount of GS or government employees overseas who are looking to come back home, stateside. That's number one on the list. They get it. They get it. You got 30 point preference, whatever. Okay. All right. And this was told to me by a hiring manager. He was like a GS 14. He said, no, it's not. No, Mike, you can't top those guys. Master's degree, 30 point preference, it doesn't matter. And they have wow. I mean, you have to think about it. A lot of those guys and ladies, those GS employees over there, they have like 1 year contracts. So every year, you're fighting against that. And I know people who are overseas GS employees, and they come back. They say, "Oh yeah, I beat someone out." I just applied for a GS 12. I think it was a 12, and I just happened to have like a little inside scoop. And the guy who was coming from Korea, I knew I didn't have a shot. And another guy who applied for it was coming from, I think, Japan. Wasn't nowhere in the world. But I said, okay, I get the experience with the, you know, interviews and everything. Ooh. So I understand that procedure and those preferences. So, like you, I think it was a GS 6, and I just can't. I can't financially. I just can't go down that low and start, because I know, like some people tell me, they say you'll go up the scale so fast, but I just can't. You know. Now, if the kids want to stay out the house, I go take a GS 2. You know.
I'll just go hold me a plastic bag and catch some poop.
Yeah, but there are preferences that, believe it or not, I don't know if you knew that, Wags, but there's preferences out there that outweigh ours.
yeah, and nepotism is on that list too. Somebody that,
No, no, I disagree, and
yeah,
that's all I have for that. I just disagree.
gotcha.
So let's those are the military connected jobs. If you're talking about civilian connected jobs, there's no requirement to even tell them you're in the military, right? I mean, there's nothing. So those will be really just as a regular civilian with the credentials you got.
Yeah.
There's a voluntary disclosure of disability, and I have no idea why you'd want to voluntarily declare to a civilian agency that you want a job with that you're disabled.
Yeah.
You got to that bombshell on them after you get the job.
Yep.
That way you're protected from, being fired for that reason. So
yeah,
as long as it's voluntary, right?
Yeah.
Because I tell you, there's companies out there like,
Go ahead.
what'd you say, Mike?
No, go ahead.
There's companies out there like Lockheed Martin and those big aerospace places. They like hiring vets. I've seen it. Obviously, they want
contracts. Yeah, that's the main reason why. Because some of those jobs pay very well too.
And let me tell you another secret. In fact, the word secret almost was in it. If you have a clearance that the government paid for, you get a job too before a lot of other people. Because that's an expensive thing. I learned this the hard way when I took a job working for the government, and I didn't realize I took a pay cut. And one of the guys that was my coworker is like, "How much they paying you?" I'm like, "We ain't supposed to discuss that." Only because I didn't want to embarrass myself.
Right.
But he's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Did you have any idea?" He told me what the cost of my clearance was. If he had told me that before my interview, I'd be making what he was making. But no. I took the cut because I didn't realize that my clearance somebody else paid for and this company just benefited from.
Yeah.
And it's in the 20 some odd $1,000 around there.
Yeah. I have to renew mine right about now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And a lot of ways they get around that is like next thing you know, some positions don't require that clearance. When you're talking about government contracts. So over time, those positions, let's say, declassified, if you will, and now you don't need a government secret clearance, and in that way, they don't have to charge the government as much money for said position, so they don't have to pay as much.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Wags, maybe you're in the wrong shopping cart.
Yeah, maybe I am. Well, just one more thing about DoD jobs, though. A lot of times they'll post a job for like 7 days, and when they post a job for 7 days that it's already internally, they've already got their person picked out.
Yep. Yeah. That's a requirement. They have to post it.
Yeah, you're not going to get that. So, I had a buddy though that worked his way up through the GS system pretty quickly. When I say quickly, it took him 4 or 5 years, I think. But he told me, get in a GS 5 or 6 job anywhere you can, and have an advanced degree. Serve I think it's 2 years in that position, and now you've served 2 years at the GS 5 or 6 level plus have a degree. He said it's early enough to where then you can put in. So let's say I'm working at the VA hospital, and I'm working as a clerk inputting data for new patients. At the GS 5 or 6 level in 2 years, then I can put in and request a transfer for the 7 to 8 level in a different area like contracting, because you're still considered trainable at the 6 to 7 level. You're not considered like a supervisor, proficient. You're still learning. So, and that's what he did. He started out in something and went to contracting, and then with a master's degree and a series of going up in grade with different positions. I think he's like at the 12 level now.
Yeah.
But it took persistence and willingness to change, and plus he does have a VA hospital that obviously you have to have a hospital that's fairly near you to work for the VA.
Right. Well, I tell you this, man. A lot of it is like your friend, and like what I was just speaking on earlier. If you could get in at a low level, with those advanced degrees, you move up quick. 3 to 5 years, it'll all be behind you.
And I feel like I understand what you're saying, like Lockheed Martin, take them for example. I don't know their specific criteria, but if they are I mean, I'm believing they're as military friendly as you say they are, but I feel like they're looking for certain things. They're not looking for me. They're not looking for an infantry dude. They're looking for, avionics, electricians, people, mechanics that were working on aircraft, engineers, pilots. I mean, they're not looking for, well, I was a tanker, or I was um, as an infantry dude, or I was a chaplain. I mean, they're not giving us any preference because we're trying to get in with. I mean,
Well,
I put in with them. I put in with a lot of companies though, and I didn't see anybody moving around just because I served.
Well, I can't, like I said, I can't speak for Lockheed Martin, and I can only speak to my experience, and I'm not an electrician. I wasn't, I was military police in the Army. So my experience with Lockheed was what? I'm going to guard a door. No, that's not what I was hired for. They, they literally wanted my top secret clearance. They wanted my clearance. I'm telling you, the clearance is worth money. I know, Mike,
Yeah,
you got a secret. I had a top secret at the time. And because what they do is a lot of secret stuff because it's for the government. A lot of times they have programs for the government, so they want that clearance, or at least to know that you're clearable. And then they'll look at your skills after that. And then if you're one of those high skilled like that, for me personally, I took a lower paying job, which was still good, and I learned how to solder cables. You know what I mean? It was like NASA standard stuff that So I learned the job. They actually the government, it was the state government, had one of those programs where they teach you. They like pay for your training until the company hires you, and they hired me right on after they put me through the training. So there's possibilities out there. It's, I guess you got to know the right angle. They got to know the right approach, which was like Mike was talking about. Maybe you need a job overseas as a GS5, and then you come back and maybe that's the angle.
you can
Yeah,
say
but just
GS5 anywhere you want.
yeah, but the thing with that is GS5 is low level. Let's say, and everyone's going for that one. Overseas, everyone, because people know the system now. They know the game, so they know that there's do a year over there. Let's say you get your GS6, but when you want to come back, you have priority. You have priority, and they're gonna offer you something. They might offer you something up in Idaho or whatever. Take it, right? Because like your friend did, Wags. Yeah, I'm gonna put my year or two in, and then I'm out of here. And then once again, they'll have preferences over people like us now who are applying from off the street. Yeah, so it's a system out there, a game that has to be played at times. But there's jobs. Where are you located again, Wags?
So I'm in a small
you
city,
you don't have to tell them everything. Just tell them
no,
kind of
east
generally.
east of Asheville, about
This
an
is
hour
North
east
Carolina.
of North
North
Carolina.
Carolina. Oh, okay, okay.
So part of the problem, I mean, part of the challenge for me, admittedly, is I'm a victim of my own choices. I live in a rural county where the biggest city in the county probably has 15,000 people in it, my guess. So, I mean, I have to travel to a different county, to the county Asheville's in, or another neighboring county, to even look for employment.
Yeah, you kind of hit it on the head right there because if you think about it, you can't like grow certain flowers in the desert. So if you were in the wrong environment, then you're not going to find the job you're looking for. That's really
Right.
tough out that way. You get closer, like Mike said, to a military base, you're going to probably have a whole lot more opportunities open up.
Yeah, you willing to move?
No, not at the point in life that I'm at now. And my wife's got a good job. She's a um, nurse, and she's got a working in it for a great company and a great environment. And she's got my dream job as I would envision my dream job to be, where she works 4 days a week. So every weekend's a 3-day weekend.
Wow.
And she gets to work almost 40 hours, like 35 hours, 34 hours. And that's a great deal to be able to get a 3-day weekend every weekend. So
And you know my next question is,
will I become a nurse?
yeah, are they hiring?
Are you
You
on
got
the
it
move?
in.
Yeah. But no, that's another problem that we have as vets, especially when we're up in age, that we're settled in, wherever we are, most likely we're homesteading, so we're not willing to move, or in some cases we're not able to move, so now we're limiting ourselves to certain jobs slash positions or what have you, and companies we can apply for.
There is good news. There's good news though, Mike, right?
Shit. Oh God.
If you just wait a year, minimum wage might be up to $30 and you won't even have to go anywhere. You can just flip burgers. It's good news, man.
So
That's
there's
true. That's true.
I talked to a career coach for quite a while that experienced career coaching. I was unfamiliar with that occupation and specialty, and one thing I learned from that is that she taught me almost everybody that gets a job, lands a job, has done so by some type of networking on some level. Very few people just drop off and like the amount of people that put in for an online service like Monster for one job is unbelievable. And sometimes networking doesn't mean you have to know somebody, but it may mean you have to introduce yourself in person or call the HR office and ask if you can come by for an informational interview. Express interest in the company on a personal level. But she said the amount of people that just blanketly put out interviews or put out resumes, drop resumes for applications that actually get hired for a position and they have no other contact is pretty low. That most jobs come from that personal touch or someone that says, "Hey, there's a position in my company. I can give you even HR's email directly.
Mm-hmm.
No person in HR, you can put your resume to them just to get your resume even looked at."
But do you
So,
blame them? I mean, let's say you're the company hiring. Wouldn't you rather have a validated person through connection than just taking a chance on a random guy who knows how to write a resume?
yeah,
So,
I guess that's fair.
so why aren't you working these networks? I joined one of those networking company things, and let me tell you, you get in there. There's people that are real estate agents, financial services. If you can sell things, man, you probably get hired by one of those people. If you're willing to put in the work, there's work out there. There sure is. And it doesn't have to be, standing out in front of a 7-Eleven waiting for a pickup truck. There's work out there. You just got to be willing to do it. And if like Mike's point, as we get older, there's certain limitations we have on ourselves. Our bodies are limitation, things like that. So we can't just take any job and we can't do it, or so we believe we can't. But either way, if you're willing to put in the work, there's plenty. Why don't you start your own business?
Oh, I've done that and failed a couple times. I'm good.
Okay, so you know how to fail, so now you know how to get it right, right?
Yeah, I'm good. So what I have done personally is, because of all my challenges of getting employment and maintaining employment, finding and maintaining something that's suitable for me and that I'm qualified to do, I actually applied to the VA for vocational rehabilitation, and I got approved through their system to go back to school and get a degree in something that I would enjoy doing, that's suitable for me, and that I'm suitable fit for. And so I'm thinking when I'm done with this, assuming that I get through the program well, I don't think there'll be a problem with employability when I'm done.
Yeah, I actually, I got turned down for that program. They said I was too employable. I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, they didn't
Wow.
want me to go back to school.
Wow. I've never heard anyone getting denied for that.
Yeah, I was denied because my resume looked good, and they said, "Oh, you can get a job with this resume." I'm like,
Well, see, to me, then you should have. It's going to sound bad, but you should have the right to go up to them and say, "Okay, then find me a job."
right.
You're the ones that I applied for that I wasn't selected even for an interview. So something's not right here. You know, that's why people always say USA Jobs. I'm like, okay, it's a crap shot. But I tell you, you just roll the dice. But I'm a firm believer in, if you only send out 2 resumes your eyes are getting a position, type position we're all probably talking about here. Your eyes are getting a position probably more slim. When I got out the military, I remember, because this wasn't the day of the internet, so you had to go down to Kinko's or mailboxes, etc. Not UPS store. You had to go down to one of those locations, make copies of your DD Form 214 and all of that. And I sent out 31 packets for government jobs. And out of that 31, I got 3 interviews. And out of the 3 interviews, I got a job at the federal prison.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like,
You probably didn't need an interview for that one though.
no. They
Could
were
have
like,
saved
hey,
yourself 29 packets.
yeah, you used to be here. You know the system. Come on in.
I'll be honest with you. I did them different. I tailored resumes for each job.
Yeah.
I had a good resume. I probably, over the course of time, I probably put in 100 resumes, and I think I got one interview for a manual labor job at a not-for-profit lifting food boxes, and I didn't get the job. I think part of my problem, and this may be part of the challenge, but I applied for non-skilled. I mean, I applied to be a driver even at like a parts store, and just drive parts from store to customer. I didn't even get a call back on that. With my 45 years old, perfect driving record. Some of these jobs like that, I would put a bachelor's degree. Some of them I wouldn't, to try to change it up. So I don't know. I never broke the code on why I didn't get interviewed. Part of it, though, was for me, whenever I tried to get a job in, if I put down that I had a bachelor's degree, my bachelor's degree is in religion. So it killed me.
Yeah.
It absolutely, anything outside of the not-for-profit church religious gambit, really just killed me. So even though I had a master's in religion, I have a bachelor's in religion too. So that was a lot of my problem. And whenever I talked about experience, I'm putting on the experience that I was a chaplain, and because that's what I spent in the last 10 years. Well, the question goes through a company's mind: why does this person have a degree in religion, and they're getting out of the ministry?
Same, brother.
I think the question could be asked: what did he do wrong, or what is he running from, or is he in trouble? Why not work for a church? Why are you trying to get a job in human resources and with a degree in religion, and you've been a chaplain for 10 years?
Yeah.
So I think my degree hurt a lot, and this is the other thing I learned, just from applying and talking to people and seeing, not getting interviewed really, but what was happening is I'm applying for a generalist position in human resources. Someone that literally types information in, payroll and vacation days, probably makes $12.50 an hour. I'm applying for a generalist starting position at human resources I'm not even telling them I have a master's degree, because it's overqualified, and they're going to think, how long is he going to stay here? And maybe he's fixing to go to his next church, and he just needs to get a little job in the meantime, because it's in religion too. But here's who I'm competing against. I'm 45 years old with no experience in human resources and a degree in religion. I'm competing against a guy that's 24 years old. He's got a bachelor's degree in human resources and management. Or he's got a bachelor's degree in business. I mean, who are they going to hire? It's not even a thought.
Yeah, I understand that, and I first and foremost, I agree with you. The second thing I wanted to say was sometimes there is a such thing as too much information. You just want to get through the door so you can stand or sit in front of people and sell yourself, right? So if someone says, do you have a degree? Yes, I do. Oh, yeah, you do? Yeah, I have a master's. If they ask, like, which kind of degree do you have? I have a master's, or I have a bachelor's. I don't expound on it. I do. Or if they say, "Do you have a degree?" I say, "Yeah, I have a bachelor's."
Yeah.
Oh, okay, like that. And sometimes maybe that's all you need to put on the resume.
And I tried that. To be honest with you, Mike, I did a good portion of my resumes. I just put Bachelor of Science.
Right.
But my career coach said it's really debatable on that one, because she said a lot of times a company will just wonder, why aren't they putting what they're? I mean, it's just it's normative on a resume to put you got a bachelor's degree in art.
Yeah.
If you're applying for an art job. And she said, she was kind of mixed about it, because she said if you put it, it's kind of like, man, this guy's degree in religion. If you don't put it, it's kind of like, why is this guy not telling us what his degree's in?
Do what works, man. Try it all. Do what works.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, Jim. What I was about to say was you have 100 resumes out there. You received one interview, right, or one callback or whatever.
Yeah, I really did.
Right? So I think you having that on there, you have some data to say, okay, this right here is not working. Let me try it this way.
Yeah.
Change it up.
Speaking of not working, if this job thing doesn't work out, you can always open up Father Wag's resume preparation service. I see it now. I mean, you can just do resumes, help people do resumes. You got it. There's your own business right there.
I thought you were going to recommend a mobile baptizing service or something.
Hey, if that works. See, now you're thinking outside the box. You don't need a resume for that.
If you think about that during COVID, it can sell. But
$39.95. I'll do a infant dedication for you, and I'll even keep my mask on.
Bam! You see, this is the thinking you need.
You have it all down. You have the commercial and everything down pat, man.
I'll even do a first-time special. For $59.95, I'll do last rites and a baby dedication.
Look at this guy. Look, you see this? We got him a job already.
It's there. I'm telling you, man, a lot of churches are not open. I'm just putting it out there. Putting that out there.
And a lot of people are scared right now.
That's right. It can happen. And it's not even like you're not even making fun of it. That's something
right.
You can actually.
True.
It's legit. You know what I mean? So, I've never seen one.
When you say it can happen, what are you talking about? Communion? $29.95.
He's unstoppable now, man.
You see that? Yeah, I mean, we are making light of it, but this is how you get outside the box. This is how you create opportunities.
Yeah.
But if you don't have your own grape juice and wafers, I'm going to have to charge you $4.99 upcharge.
There you go.
Hey, throw in the cup.
Yeah, and it's got to be.
I like it.
It's got to be gluten free too.
Yeah, gluten free.
Or is that extra? $6.99?
Yeah, $6.99. Yeah.
You take something out of it, and I have to pay more.
Yeah. Less work.
Man, I just could have had to pull the pin there. Dang it.
But yeah, that's good, man. That's good. It can work. I'm telling you.
But I tell you, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is the kind of thinking that will drive you, even in your resumes, even in the jobs you apply for. When you start thinking outside the box, that's what makes the originality. That's what makes the approach. That's what makes you put something in there that people are like, oh, wait a minute. This guy might be a creative thinker. This guy might be somebody we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing I was going to touch on, Wags, with the resume, it's like I have resumes designed for a certain position that I applied for. Like, and I can't think of any offhand, but if it had nothing to do with law enforcement, the position I was applying for, they would not ever know that I was a police officer. And I have a bachelor's in criminal justice, right? They would not know. On that resume, they wouldn't know that I was a police officer. Because I know some people, how they feel about police officers. So just a little hint there.
Hey, I was going to ask you about that, Mike. How's that Bachelor of Criminal Justice working out for you?
Oh, it's kept me out of a lot of
jobs. Yeah. What? Had a lot of jobs. What?
Trouble.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is that? Would you pull over? Hey, I got a Bachelor's of Criminal Justice.
No, it's on my back window.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Yep. University of Texas.
Got it.
When I'm in Georgia, hey,
Well, it's funny you say that too, because a lot of guys want to be cops, and they go to these criminal justice courses, all that, and then they go to the police force. They just find out they just need 60 credits in basket weaving, and they can have a cop job.
yeah,
So
that's
waste a
that's
degree.
that's slowly changing though.
Sure, and
Yeah,
it probably should. It probably should.
yeah, it's slowly changing because these days they don't want people directly off the street. You know what I mean? Back in the day, we wanted guys who we can mold. You know, we don't want people with those mistakes and all of that. Now, it's changing.
Well, nowadays I got to feel like nobody's coming to Wags. I think there is an opportunity there too.
What's that? Police
Be a
back
cop. Yeah, be a cop.
Oh, I was a. Did I not tell you I was a cop for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again. I'm good.
Yeah.
Now's not the time.
Mm-mm.
Why not? That's the second best job I ever had.
Yeah, well, now you're not there now.
Right.
No, I can. I'm glad. Part of me is glad I did it, but all of me is glad I'm done for now.
Mm. Yeah, I can never go back and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you got to tell some other people in your scenario there, what would you tell them? Other vets coming out looking for employment.
Mm.
Some Wags advice. Hey, $5.
Stay in a few
Wags
more
advice.
years.
When you say stay in a few more
Yeah, a
years,
few more years. No, I would say, and this is one thing that I'm glad I did do. Take advantage of every benefit you can from the military while you're in, including education. I took a lot of CLEP courses that were free through when I was in the Navy through the college office, and I went to a school that I knew in advance. Hey, they accept a lot of CLEP classes for my electives, and my friend joked to me that my bachelor's degree is in CLEPs. I got so many CLEPs, but I took all those for free. I used tuition assistance while I was in. I got out. I used my GI Bill, and like a major I knew used to tell me, the Army is a fickle mistress. When she's done with you, she's done.
that's it.
So take all you can while you're in, and that
Yeah.
would be my encouragement to other vets.
And anybody don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, the CLEP test is basically you're testing out of a subject because you know that you have the knowledge of it, right?
Yeah. And if you standardize test well, studying is honestly is minimum if you test well. It's just one of those things. You got to benefit if you take multiple choice tests pretty well and know a little bit about the subject. I clept educational psychology and psychology, and I never had a class in psychology, never read a book on it. I just test well. And a lot of folks do that.
Maybe we
It was
shouldn't
free.
give this information out because now the guys are in now. They might change the standard.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say besides not having a job, let's pull the pin on the job.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's kind of transition over to our favorite segment where we pull the pin on something we just want to be done with and call it a day. And anybody got anything?
Wags?
Yep. I got a shout out to all my retired sergeant majors and first sergeants. You damn been in the Army 25 or 30 years, and you want to get out and work on a range. Give Joe a hard time. Do like everybody else and work at a used car lot or something and move on. I appreciate you guys.
What's the matter, Mike? Do you work in a
Mike-
range?
No, I don't. No, I
Well,
don't.
you weren't a sergeant major, even if you did.
No. But I'm like, damn, what's he at for?
Now, I can't, in Fort Carson, you can't find somebody working on a range that's not a retired first sergeant or sergeant major.
Yeah.
Sergeant
Yeah,
major,
man.
what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Dang, you already done it. You lived your life. Go do something different.
Yeah, but they're paying me 3 times now.
Yeah.
Well,
Less responsibility.
Yes.
You know.
I
And
can blame the military.
That's
Them
what
damn
those are.
soldiers. All right, you got anything, Mike?
No, I don't have anything, but I could talk about one thing. You know, um, there's well, no, that's a person of the week. Pull the pin on books. Books.
And pencils.
No, just books.
Okay.
Mainly speaking about them damn ebooks or books online and things of that nature. Why is it that we can't go back to just having books? I don't get it. You know, I like having that book that, you know, yeah, you can lose it, you can misplace it or whatever, but the book is there. You know, if you don't have access to online, oh God forbid you're driving through somewhere that doesn't have a signal, you know, then you don't have access to your book or books. So, you know, I want to pull the pin on everything going online and the internet, and we're not, you know, keeping with our traditions, at least in that regard, and having books printed. I hate it. Newspapers, the same thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's my pull the pin.
All right. Although that doesn't mean not to read books, people. That he's not saying that. Go read and get it.
No, I'm saying don't read.
All right. So, anyways, he's not saying don't read. He thinks he's saying that. He's telling you go get an education, read a book. I'm going to go make a few enemies. Probably a lot of enemies, because I think even as we sit in this room, probably every one of us knows at least 5 or 6 of these people, and I think they're called real estate agents. I'm kind of done with them already, and the reason I'm done with them is they could be the worst agents in the world in a good market, and they still get paid.
Oh yeah.
And I've had the chance to purchase a couple places as I moved about the world, and I have to tell you that I've had some good agents, some bad agents, but really they did absolutely nothing to warrant the what they call a fraction of the percentage. They did nothing. I mean, there are some good ones out there. I'm not going to lie. There's people that get their hustle, they work, you know, but for the most part, they're a dime a dozen. I can tell you, I know like 15 of them right now. We need to slimline this or streamline this down to like a process like the old Saturn cars, you know, car dealers, no haggle, no. I look online, this is the house, I make an appointment, I pay you $10 to set up the appointment, I show up, you tell me what you want about it, or leave a flyer, and we're done. That's it. No 3%, no, don't be taking my money, especially on the selling side. Oh, it gets me mad when they take my money to sell my house. You know, I could just put it on the market. And if you're in a hot market, you know. But anyway, I got the option to sell it myself, so they're going to tell me that too. They're going to get mad. But anyways, I'm done with them. Let's find a better solution than all these 50 million real estate agents. That's what I'm pulling the pin on.
All right. You don't need help to sell your house. Got it.
I didn't say that. I said
You know, people help you sell your house. You don't want to have to pay them. Got it.
Yeah, I don't want to have to pay them that much.
Right. They are worth just minimum wage to you. Yep, got it.
Yes. Minimum wage.
I ain't trying to bring nobody into your house for a showing for $10. So
Well, I ain't trying to bring nobody to my house, period.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we need them. I'm just telling you, streamline them. This shouldn't be just a job that anybody can get.
Right.
Maybe they need a bachelor's degree in criminal justice or something.
Yeah. They'll sell your house.
I'm not dismissing the work they put in, because I did get a little secret here. I did get my real estate license.
Right.
And I hated every part of it. And in fact, it cost me so much money for this subscription, join this group, do this group. Then you got to buy from other people. You got to buy all that. I spent more money trying to prepare to be a real estate agent than I did being a real estate agent. And that's where I said, you know what? That's why they're charging me so damn much, because I got to pay all this crap back.
Yeah.
So it's not just their fault, their problem. But anyway, I still want to pull the pin on them. Doesn't matter. Do away with them.
We support you, Jim.
Yeah, let's set up a kiosk.
Yep, minimum wage.
A housing kiosk.
There you go.
And I'm going to get the pin pulled on me eventually anyway.
I know, right?
Just for that comment, we're going to pull the pin on this whole episode, and we will be back next time. So thank you for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you like what you have to say. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Subscribe on Rumble as well as YouTube. And we hope you catch you back here next time here at Pull the Pin Already. Until then, Godspeed.
And pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.